Welcome to Part of My Imagination. I'm Imagination and you're the Imaginers. Welcome if this is your first time. My name is Jasmine and welcome back if this is your second or third or however many times you clicked on my channel. Welcome. Today I'm going to be going over my August TBR. And the person to blame for this 16 book TBR is Princess over at Castle Library. Go to her channel, check her out, and ask her why she make me make this big old TBR. She equally has a big TBR, so make sure you check out her TBR video. I don't know if this video gonna be out before hers or after, but either way, check it out. Check her channel out. She's my best friend. She's great. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and get into it because I am re-recording this video because all my lighting got fucked up, so now I gotta record again. And so let's just get into it. And we're gonna start off with the mangas and graphic novels. First being Spy Family by Tatsuya Endo. This is volume number 3. I have already read volume number 2 and volume number 1. This story is following a man who has to go on an assignment to basically kill someone. He's a spy, but in order to do that he has to make a fake family. So he finds a wife and a daughter, and adoptive daughter. So the daughter is a telepath, so she knows everything that's going on. She knows that the dad is a spy, but surprise, the wife is also an assassin. So you're just following this very intricate story of this girl knowing the truth, but also she's so young, so she doesn't really understand a lot. And you're just watching them be a fake family, and it's great. I didn't really like volume 1, but then volume 2 picked up really well, so I'm glad to pick up number 3. The next book that I have, or manga that I have, is Dick Fighting Island. This is by Reibun. This is very inappropriate. This is an adult only, so I'll say that much. But I talked about this book when I bought it. But this is basically following a tournament on an island where the first person to come loses. That's the gist of it. Like, it's very inappropriate. Every page that you open up, majority is going to be explicit. So I would read this in the safety of your home when children aren't around. Next I have Assassination Classroon by Matsui. This is volume number 5. This story is following an alien who has invaded Earth and is going to destroy Earth in a year if this classroom cannot kill him. So essentially he is taking over this classroom that has a bandit of different characters. So either you have dropouts, people that aren't doing so well, who aren't well off, they get sent to this classroom. And not just at the school, but also in the society, they treat this class like crap. So he is teaching them, not only is he teaching them like regular school curriculum, but he's also teaching them how to assassinate him. This classroom is the only classroom that, or the only people that are going to be able to assassinate him. Nobody else around the world can assassinate him. And it's just a wholesome story. He's teaching them life lessons, and it's just all around a great story. And this would probably become one of my favorite mangas because I'm loving it. And I highly suggest picking this up. And next, this is purely just off of the cuteness because I really love Stitch. And it's Stitch and the Samurai. This is by Hiroto Wada. And literally it's just about story and a Stitch and a samurai. His spaceship malfunctions and it lands in Japan. Like, this is so cute. I can't wait to read it. Alright, the next book I have is She Is a Haunting by Tran. I'm not too sure if I'm saying that right. I apologize for butchering your name. But this story is basically following a girl who goes back home to Vietnam to basically be the best Vietnamese that she can be the best American that she can be, and be the best daughter that she can be, so that she can get this money from her father to go to college. There are some creepy things that are going on with the house that he has purchased. It's an old colonial home, and there are some other plans that are going to happen. That's all I need to know, all I want to know, because it is a horror book. This is also her debut novel. Actually, I forgot 2 graphic novels. The first graphic novel I have is Something is Killing the Children, volume 2. This is by James Tynion. The fourth, Werther, Dell'edera, and Micaiah Mirto, excuse me. This story is following a girl who is she's basically a monster killer, and she kills monsters that are killing the children. Every village has a different type, and they just feast on children. I really enjoyed the first one. It's very, I'm not gonna say it's very gory, but it is gory because something's killing the children. Alright, next I have Saga Volume... Jesus. I have Saga Volume 10 by Fiona Staples and Brian K. Vaughan. This is the novel number 10. If you don't know what Saga is about, it is following this world where there are tons of planets and different types of species, all different types of species, but there are two specific types of species. One that has horns and the other one that has wings. They have been at war for hundreds of years, and so it's basically forbidden that these two have a child together. But that's end up what happened. They end up falling in love. One of them is in prison, the other one is a guard, and they end up falling in love with each other and having a child. So they become on the run because their relationship is basically forbidden. And that's the story that you're following. There are an array of characters. Again, there's a guy with a TV as a head, so it's very interesting. It is also an adult, like you can't open this up. At least not the first couple ones. You can't open it up without seeing like a titty or something. So I would be very mindful of reading this around. Alright, next I have Britt-Marie Was Here by Ferdrik Backman. I picked this one up because I really wanted to read The Winners, which is the third book in the Beartown series, which is one of my favorite series by Ferdrik Backman. It's the series that made Ferdrik Backman one of my favorite authors. But Princess was like, girl, you don't need to be having all those heavy hitter books. And I was like, I don't even got all them heavy hitters. It's emotionally going to be heavy, so that's why I didn't pick it up. But I still want to read Ferdrik Backman, so I went and picked this up. This book is basically following this woman, this older lady, who is leaving a divorce, or leaving a marriage because she's getting divorced. And she is going to this small town in Berg where she feels like she knows it all. She is one of those old ladies that feels like she has all the best advice on how to live life, and she's not afraid to let people know that they need to live the way she wants to live. I know that I'm probably going to love it because it sounds like how I loved A Man Called Ove. So, we'll see. Next, I have Crown of Thunder by Tochi Onyebuchi. This is the second book in a duology. The first book is Beast Made of Night. This story is following a man who is a warrior and he kills monsters. And in order to kill these monsters, the bigger the monster, the more tattoos that they get. But there is a specific type of humans that can actually defeat these monsters and take on that tattoo. If they take on too many, they could actually end up dying. And that is a story that you're following in between trying to be the best warrior that he can be. He also is getting thrown into what could be a rebellion. And I really enjoyed the first one, and I just need to go ahead and finish off this second one. Next, I have Lakewood by Megan Giddings. And from what I can tell, I believe this is like I don't want to say it's a horror, but kind of. It might be a psychological thriller. One of the two. I think it's in one of those categories. But this story is basically just following a girl who ends up agreeing to be in a medical study. But things don't turn out the way that they were, and some unexpected things are happening. That's kind of the gist of what I know. I've heard nothing but great things about this story. But I've also tried to stay away from any spoilers from this book because I want to read it. It's not very long. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this one up. This is also on my 23 for 23. So if you want to know any other books that I'm trying to read for the year, this is one of them. Oh, and Crown of Thunder is also on my duologies for the year. Speaking of my list, for one of my rereads, for the 5 rereads that I want to read in 2023, there is The Space Between Worlds by Micaiah Johnson. This is one of my favorite books. I gave it 5 stars. Science fiction. It is following this girl named Kara who lives in a world where there is a multiverse. There are 372 worlds to be exact. And she can travel to these other worlds. And the only way that you can travel to these worlds is if you have already died in that world. Because if you go to a world where you are alive, you are going to die, or the other you is going to die. Something bad is going to happen. Well, Kara does not have that many more lives on many ones, so that is why she's able to travel to these universes to gather materials or do top secret things that this company that she works for that she needs to do. Well, some things end up happening and they're uncovering some things that are going on with this company that she works with. And ultimately, it's a great story. I really enjoyed the multiverse of how it was operated, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I can't wait to pick it back up. Next I have is a book that I've already started and just need to finish, and I've been having this on my TBR. I've had this on my TBR for quite some time now, and I just need to go ahead and pick it up and finish it. That is Her by Malachi Bailey. This book was recommended to me by my coworker because his friend is who wrote it. It's very short. It's not long at all. And I don't know why I haven't finished it, but I just haven't finished it. I have literally less than like 90 pages of it. But this book is following a woman who washes up on the coast of Australia, and a fisher ends up finding her. And he is trying to help her remember who she is. Well, she doesn't know who she is, and she ends up showing some magical powers. And as that happens, there are creatures that are after her. So they end up going on this journey together to figure out what the hell is going on. Another book that I've already started and just need to go ahead and finish, and don't come for me because I know y'all gonna try to come for me because Princess tried to come for me. She literally was like, how the hell did you? Because I didn't. Okay? And that is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I have gotten 133 pages into this book, and I just need to go ahead and finish it. My lighting's doing that thing again. It's the book. But I really need to go ahead and just pick this book up and finish it. I have been loving it so much, but if you don't know what this story is about, it is following this girl named Violet who lives in a world where there are dragons and there are dragon riders. So you get put into not a category, but you pick a career, and there are like 4 or 5 different types of careers. There's the dragon riders, who are basically the badass of badass. There are scribes, medical, and I believe like builders and engineers or stuff like that. But she wants nothing but to be a scribe. She wants to be a scribe because it's what her father was. But her mother has other plans because she believes that everybody in her family needs to be a dragon rider. She's a dragon rider. She's the general of this city or country. She's the general, and so is her oldest sister. She is also a dragon rider. But some things that are challenges for Violet is that the fact that she has a disease and a disability where she is extremely fragile and gets sick a lot. So the worst of the worst, she is making the impossible possible by becoming a dragon rider. If you watched my July TBR, then you would know that I have read the first 2 books, and I'm actually reading the book right now, today. I am reading City of Brass, and then tomorrow I will start Kingdom of Copper. But the 3rd book is The Emperor of Gold by S.A. Chakraborty. City of Brass is on my list of rereads, and this book is on my, not this book, but The Kingdom of Copper is on my, 23 for 23. And yeah, I just want to go ahead and finish this out, because if you didn't hear in one of my videos, I'm not sure what video I said it in, but I said that I wanted to get away from reading a book in a series, putting that series down, and then waiting months and months and months to get back to it, because then I would forget, and then I would have to reread. But I don't want to reread. I mean, I do want to reread, but I don't want to reread the first book in a series when I'm at book number 4. You know what I'm saying? So I am trying to do better at just reading the full series through and just having the entire feel of having feels. That's how I was when I was younger. So yes, I am going to be picking this book up. If you don't know what City of Brass is about, it is following this girl who, Nahara, it's following this girl named Nahara who lives in Egypt, and she is essentially, what does she do? She just does odd jobs, and she's also a thief. But she does odd jobs to basically make money because she wants to leave so that she can find out who she is and who her family is. And she wants to be she wants to work in the medical field, right? So one day she is performing one of her tricks of the trade, and she basically says some magical words, and she ends up awaking a djinn. Well, when she wakes up this djinn, there also are these ifrits that are after her to go ahead and kill her. He goes on an adventure with her. His name is Dara. They go on this adventure to take her to Davabad, which is where her kind go to live. And essentially, she is a mix between the djinn and humans. Essentially, she is of mixed blood, and so you're following this adventure of these two. But then there's also another perspective of Ollie. He is one of the princes of the emperor, and he is very strict in his beliefs. He's very black and white in his beliefs, and you are just following all these tales, or these characters, and how their stories are going to intertwine. There is a ton of political intrigue, a ton of magic building, and overall, S.A. Chakraborty just knows how to magically and beautifully write a story, and I cannot wait. I am having the time of my life reading City of Brass. I can't wait to get to the Kingdom of Copper and just to go ahead and finish this one out. Alright, the last 2 books that I have are the same 2 books in the series, and I picked this series up. I am picking this series up because I was at work, minding my business, filling in my spreadsheet of all the book of my physical TBR, and one of my I guess you could say coworkers, he's not necessarily my coworker, but he comes into my office quite frequently, and he's seen me doing this, and he was like, hey, you read books, like, have you ever read this book? And that series is Crescent City. I picked this up because, like, one, I'm not saying that men don't read, because they do, clearly, but he was very adamant about me reading Crescent City. He said that it is by far one of his favorite books. He's also read ACOTAR and said that he loves ACOTAR, and that the last one with Nessa is his favorite. And now he is also reading A Court of Thorns and Roses. Oh, or excuse me, no, Throne of Glass. He's starting on that. And then to top it all off, he said after Throne of Glass, he's going to read Red Rising. And I felt like that was my calling. I needed to pick this series up. And the first book is House of Earth and Blood, and the second book is House of Sky and Breath. These are the first and second, and the third one comes out next year in January. I am not too sure what this series is about, and I believe it is following 2 characters. I'm just going to read this last part. It is about 2 characters named Bryce and Hunt. They dig deeper into the Crescent City's underbelly. They discover a dark power that threatens everything and everyone they hold dear, and they find in each other a blazing passion, one that could set them both free if they only let it. And that is what I'm here for. I'm here for it. I'm just ready, okay? And I know everyone has either read these and just raved about them, and it's my time. You know, it's my calling. Y'all know I gotta do it every time. I gotta show y'all the entire stack. This is the stack of books I'm gonna be reading. There are 16 of them, if you were curious. But if you want to buddy read one of these books, let me know. Y'all know I'm bad at buddy reading, but I'm trying to get better at buddy reading. So if you want to buddy read something on this list, let me know. Reach out to me. If not, I will catch y'all on the flip side, because that is all that I have for you guys today. Be sure to check out my description where you can find easy ways to contact me, as well as all the books and videos that I talked about. If you like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if not, just imagine that you didn't come back again. Until next time, keep imagining.